Hey guys, how's it going? I like to mow here, and today I'm going to be doing a video mainly aimed towards people my age, so 15, 16, 17 years old, who are just in high school or even middle school for that matter. If you are doing lawn care, you need to keep an open mind and expect to not get every single job you bid on, because if you think about it, there's a lot of lawn care companies out here, and I'm not trying to bash any of the other ones by any means at all. I'm just saying there's a lot of lawn care companies, as I'm sure you are well aware of. And when you go to look at a property, you need to assume that there's a good chance you probably may not get it, and someone who's possibly cheaper or whatever gets the job instead. So, a while back I talked about, in one of my previous winter vlogs, I talked about a foreclosure property that I had spoken to the owners with, and they were interested in hiring me to basically just clean up the yard. It was really overgrown. It had been sitting for well over a year, and really had a lot of overgrowth to it, and just needed to be cleaned up really badly. There was bushes that are 15 feet tall. There was out of control azaleas. The beds were non-existent. They were just full of grass. I mean, there's a lot of things that needed to be done to it. And when I originally talked to the owner, they were interested in just cutting everything out. So I tried to take a different approach with talking to them, because I didn't want to cut everything out of the yard because it would just look bad. And I'm sure you can agree with me. Just the first step of looking at a new property is you want to give the owner advice on what you would think would be best, especially in a situation where you're cleaning up the property. You don't want to have your name associated with a really messy property that looks bad after you're done working on it. And at the same time, you want to please the owner or the client, whatever it is. You want to make sure that they're satisfied with your work. Well, this owner wanted to cut everything out. So, yeah, you could do that, but it would look bad. And I didn't want it to look bad, especially, I mean, this time of year, bushes are all dormant, or not bushes, but grass and stuff are all dormant, so the yard is pretty dead looking anyways. But they were insisting on cutting everything out. So my recommendation to them when I first talked to them was, yeah, we could pull a few bushes out if they're too close to the house or whatever, but they wanted everything cut out, and that wasn't going to look very good for the yard, because there's ornamental tea olives. I'm not sure if that'd be ornamental or not, but tea olives, hollies, like overcup oaks. There's a whole bunch of really nice bushes in there, azaleas, that sort of thing. And while they were really out of control, you could have trimmed them back and they would have looked fine. But you probably know where I'm getting to now. But the property owner decided to hire someone else the day before, or several days in advance. I'm not sure exactly when, but it was before I was scheduled to work. So we had agreed on a price and a day to start work. This was back in, it was over winter break. So end of December, beginning of January. We were going to start the first week of January on a Friday. And sometime before that week, or before that Friday, they decided to hire someone else, and they completely clear cut the front yard. So they cut out everything. They cut down the big Laura or overcup oak. They cut down tea olives. They cut down hollies. They cut down all the azaleas, all the Indian hawthorn, all that stuff. And now that's not what I was suggesting that they do, but that's what they wanted to do. So I guess they just hired someone else to do it. But let me back up. So I just drive through the neighborhood once in a while to check on my other properties I mow and take care of, and I was checking on the other properties to see if yard waste had been picked up from a cleanup, to make sure I didn't need to come and get it. And I just happened to this property is next to a couple of my other properties, and I just checked to see if I was just driving by my other properties, and I happened to notice, oh, this property had already been cleaned up, or cleaned out at least. And so I just texted the person, that's how we'd been communicating. Said, hey, are we going to, or am I going to still, or what was it? Oh yeah, it was, do you still need my services? Because I noticed the front yard had already been done, and they said, no, someone helped me do it already, so we'll be touched for future work. So, moral of the story is, I didn't get the job, and you need to, you need to assume that you probably aren't going to get work, and you're going to have to, when you quote these kind of jobs, you're going to have to expect something like this to happen. And especially in this case, there's several red flags as I was talking to the person. And one of the things was they were always negotiating any price I gave them for the work. I thought my prices were pretty reasonable for the amount of work involved, especially for a pretty overgrown yard. There's going to be 3 people working, including me, and probably at least 2 or 3 days worth of work, and it's all manual labor stuff. So it's not like just brush mowing and stuff. That, while that is manual labor, it's not. It's a lot of hand pruning and that sort of thing, and hauling stuff around. It was a lot of work, so I gave them a fair price in my opinion, but I guess they just didn't like that price, and as it is, I did negotiate with them a little bit by about $40 or $50 off the original price, and I guess they just decided not to hire me or they didn't want to have me do the work, because they obviously hired someone else. There was no debris left over from this property, and there was going to be a lot of debris because of the amount of stuff that was going to be trimmed up or cut out or whatever. So honestly, my lesson for you guys who are my age, don't take everything for granted, and take your work that you have lightly, and make sure that you assume these kind of things you might not get, because there's always going to be other jobs. So hope you guys use this video, and I hope it helps you out. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment below the video, and I will respond to you. And if you have a similar situation, or you've experienced a similar situation, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'd like to hear about it. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.